all hope is not lost and the Little Nightmares TV show may still be coming. Hello everyone and welcome back, Itsjustjord here with another Little Nightmares video. Feels good to say that again. Today we're talking about some recent news that came to light last year, and this news is regarding the TV show for Little Nightmares, which we could really do with some new information or something for Little Nightmares. I don't know if anyone knows, but yeah, the Little Nightmares news is very short supply at the moment. It's slowly killing me. The only thing that is actually due to come out is the Little Nightmares mobile port, and that's not coming till at least the end of March. Anyway, of course, before we go into this video, I do have to do the YouTuber thing and ask you to subscribe if you enjoy Little Nightmares content and want to see more of it, as this year I do plan on coming back to some more Little Nightmares stuff and even doing more videos and shorts on the world of Little Nightmares. But anyway, shameless self-promotion out of the way, let's get into this video. So, what Little Nightmares TV show am I on about? For those of us that have forgotten or just don't recall any information about the Little Nightmares TV show as it's been so long, why don't we recap on what we know so far? All the way back in 2017, an article was released claiming that the Russo brothers were going to be adapting the Little Nightmares game into a show. The Russo brothers were going to do this with the help of DJ2 Entertainment and a few other producers within Bandai Namco. This was all going to be brought together with the help of Henry Selick, who would lead the show and the direction along its course. The lineup was perfect, everything looked to be very promising. What more could you ask for? And plus, with the inclusion of Henry Selick, it was often speculated, but not confirmed, that the animation show would be stop motion because of course, Henry Selick's previous work, such as Coraline and The Nightmare Before Christmas. In short, it was a lot to be excited about for us fans. Many months would pass, and even years, before we heard anything in relation to the show at all, until it was revealed in an interview. But for the life of me, I cannot find this interview. I have googled, I have searched all over the internet, I've even looked at my old videos because I'm sure I've used it somewhere and I have missed it. If I do find it, you'll see it on screen, but I am damn certain there was a quote from this interview. And this is me now going off memory, but it was explained that in the early stages of Little Nightmares and its booming popularity, many things were planned for the IP. This is where the person who was being interviewed agreed that they rushed into a lot of things at once and had to take a step back from some of these projects and actually put them on the shelf. Not necessarily cancelling them, but leaving them far enough back on the shelf that they are collecting dust and people are forgetting about them. But this brings us to the news today. Well, actually, last year, technically. Very dad joke, but it's technically true. And something important that has come from that interview with Henry Selick. Discussing Film released an article where they talked to Selick about an upcoming project of his, Wendell and Wild. But in the end of the article, the interviewer asks the following question. But I'm actually curious about what happened to the TV adaptation of Little Nightmares that was reported back in 2017. You were said to be attached as a director with the Russo brothers producing. That video game has a strong following, so can fans still expect anything? To which Henry responds, yeah, I was involved with that. It's a really cool video game. It kind of just came and went. I don't actually know what happened to it. It's a really good story. I did a lot of work with a writer on that, and I can't really explain what happened. I'm glad you heard about that because Little Nightmares was a really interesting project. It's really dark, shows kidnapped kids and an elitist class. It's kind of like Squid Game, quite honestly, but maybe not quite as extreme. Put the word out, maybe they'll come back around because it was a good project. So, from what Henry says in that first sentence alone, it backs up the idea that the project was shelved due to the amount of things that was going on in Bandai Namco and what they wanted to do with Little Nightmares. And it also sounds as if Henry Selick was really into the story, which is a really good plus there. It's also very promising to hear that the TV show got to the point of writers sitting down and hashing out what could have happened, and one can only speculate what they must have talked about and of course all the story behind it. What sucks is this is an absolute brilliant indication that it was going somewhere. Although Henry's take on Little Nightmares is a very broad version of the more in the Little Nightmares universe, while using the terms like kidnapping and elitist class, while they're not wrong, I don't think it's right either. But again, take this with a pinch of salt. This is someone who probably hasn't played the game and is just looking at it for face value on what they're being told about the game. And of course, the most important part of this paragraph is the end sentence. No, not the comment about it being similar to Squid Game, the last sentence. Put the word out. Maybe it'll come back around because it was a good project. So what does that tell us? My guess is that what we were all suspecting in the first place. The show was shelved. It was being worked on, and the fact that Henry is so enthusiastic about the show is another plus. Him and the writers must have had a really good time talking and planning about the world of Little Nightmares. So with that being said, it all sounds as if the ball was left in Bandai Namco's court. It must be up to them whether or not they do anything with the show coming in the future. Perhaps previously there wasn't any time before for it, but now they don't seem to be too busy with anything related to Little Nightmares, so perhaps they could take another look, and also, as Henry Selick said, put out the word. As fans, show that we would absolutely love to see this. Or even if they could just make a pilot episode, you know, something to show that everyone that they could have worked in formula, and something that may even go further in the future. I, for one, would love to see a show for Little Nightmares led by Henry Selick. It sounds like a recipe for success, and something for us, all of us fans, to absolutely fall in love with. There are so many different avenues Little Nightmares could take, and storytelling in the cinema screen or like a Netflix animation or series like that is just something us fans really need right now. The other sort of afterthought I had about this whole interview and whatnot is there was a lot of focus on the more rather than exploring, for instance, like the Little Nightmares 2 side of everything. It seems that this story in the film was sort of discussed in the manner of everything being contained inside the more, and perhaps we might have got a glimpse of another side of the characters that we possibly saw in Little Nightmares 1. For instance, we probably could have got a backstory towards the child in the dining room that gives Six the bread, or the flashlight girl that the runaway kid steals. Well, it doesn't steal, he borrows the light that's dropped on the floor from. Anything like that could have been explored. There's so many avenues they could have took within Little Nightmares, and just the more itself. It's such a complex structure, the more, and everything inside it is a hierarchy of different classes and things like that. So again, there would have been so much depth to explore on the side of someone like a Henry Selick. It would have been absolutely fantastic, and I can't believe they didn't pursue it any further. But of course, these decisions are complicated, and it's well above my pay grade as a loudmouth YouTuber who doesn't know much. He just knows a few things about Little Nightmares. So again, I can only speculate, and I can only speculate with you, and hopefully one day we do see something like that. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the Little Nightmares TV show, what it could look like, what you think would, well, what you would like to happen, where it could go. But, you know, as usual, make sure to hit like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Share the video if you must. It'll really help the video in the long run. And like I said earlier, I am going back to my roots. I'm going to be covering some more Little Nightmares stuff. I got a few videos in mind, some theories, and a lot of like essay videos as well, where we talk about each individual characters and things like that. So basically, we're going to fill a lot of Little Nightmares content this year. Going to really lean into it, as well as, of course, experiencing other games in between. But I'm not going to forget my roots. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you hit like and comment and subscribe and all the usual YouTube things again. Have a lovely morning, day, or night, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I will see you all in the next Little Nightmares theory video. Bye!